Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a tip video for American Truck Sim. Now, this video is going to show the console and how to first of all, how to enable it, and also what is available in the console command section in the game and the regular console commands that I regularly use and what they do in the game. So, first of all, to access this file is included in all installations of either Euro Truck Simulator 2 or American Truck Sim, and is located usually where you install the game and you're looking for the config.cfg file, which I've got open here. This will allow you to, if you edit a certain 2 lines of the file, it will allow you to enable the in-game console. Now, the 2 lines that you're looking for are the usetg console command and also the usetg developer command. Now, because this uses binary notification, or binary notation, I should add, to turn these features on, you set the values to 0 and 1. To 1, sorry, to turn them off, you set them to 0. So you can see here that I've got the developer line set to 1, and I've also got the console line set to 1, which means I can see the, whoops, that's not spelled properly, I need to take that out. Just confused it because I pressed the apostrophe command to start this recording, so it's confused it. But that is how your file should look if you want the developer console to be available in game. So you can see that up at the top of the screen, first line, you can see that the developer thing is enabled, and also that the console is enabled about 3 lines from the bottom of this screen. Now, you may be asking what this does, and there's a simple way I can show you by going into game. I actually just thought I was recording this video when I actually wasn't, about 10 minutes ago. So I was just in game 10 minutes ago, and I thought the video was being recorded, but it actually wasn't. So here we go again. And you can see, here we go, back in game. Hopefully now it's not going to take as long as it did to load the last time. Because it's already been loaded once today. This is also adaptable, I should add, to Euro Truck Simulator 2 as well, in the same method. So it's not just American Truck Sim, it works across both titles. So, we are now loaded into game. I'm just going to click drive. I'm not actually going to go anywhere in this video, but I am going to show you at least 3 commands that I regularly use in the case of playing this game. Now, to access the console, once those lines are put into the config file, you press the tilde key on the keyboard, which for QWERTY keyboards usually is directly below the escape button. So if you do that correctly, if you sort out the console file correctly, or the config file correctly, you are presented with this screen at the bottom here that says console pinned. Now, this is where all the fun stuff happens for changing the game and changing several aspects of it without leaving the game itself. So, there are three commands that I regularly use, and I shall go over them in a minute. So, ignore the exit one. I found that as a new the first one I'm going to start regularly using, because I've just found this as a correct command, is the gset weather command. And as you can expect, this will set weather in the game at the precise location where it is now to certain weathers depending on the number set. Now at this point, the number 2 corresponds to the current weather on the screen, but there are other numbers that you can put in to, say, change the weather to whatever that number corresponds to. So that's the first of the commands I would start using. The other 3 that I'm going to show you I regularly use already, and I will explain what they do in a second. So this one is the r_steering_wheel command, and if this is set to 0, the steering wheel will be removed from view. It still exists, but doesn't actually get shown to the viewer, and is actually quite handy if gauges on the truck that you're using are pretty close to the steering wheel and you need to see what your fuel gauge is or something or other. So I tend to drive it, most of the time I tend to drive without the steering wheel present. Obviously you can still guide the truck. The game actually works as if a steering wheel is present, but you obviously don't see that on the screen. So there's no change to how the game actually steers. That's not an issue, but obviously the steering wheel gets removed, so you can actually see everything on the dashboard. So that's one of the commands I use. Another one is this one here, and this will change time to a certain hour of day in game if you choose to select it. Now this works in this command works in 24-hour notation. So if you wanted it set to 2 p.m. in the afternoon, for example, you would put 14 and not 2. Now please bear in mind that if you're using this command, the time skips forward but does not skip back. So if you're on a job and you're trying to avoid night driving, please be careful when you use this command, because there is a possibility of you ending up being late for jobs if you use it at the wrong time. So make sure that you have plenty of time in the delivery window before using this command. Because as you can see, if I was to use it now, it would pull it to Monday morning at 7 o'clock. Now I'll just show you, for purposes of this video, exactly what I mean. So as you can see, it's pulled it forward a day to 7 o'clock. That's because it doesn't go backwards. So the time only goes forwards. So be careful when you use this command. It is quite a fun command to use, but you need to have enough room in the delivery window to consequent using it, or to consider using it. So be very careful with that one. Right, that's the second one. A third one here is the traffic command. Now what this one will do, depending on the number set, obviously I've got it set to 0 at the moment, which is no traffic at all, but you can set it to a number between 0 and 10 in 0.1 increment, in as little as 0.1 increments. And what this will do is start spawning traffic in. I'm not going to show that since it's pretty self-explanatory. So once I press enter, if I was to set it to say 1, it would start spawning traffic in, and you would, obviously if you set it to 5 or 6, you get a traffic jam. But what I tend to do is to set it to 0 to help frame rates, particularly in larger cities. Although I've got a 3080 on this machine, I do tend to keep the traffic down so that I can keep the frame rates up and so on. It's not to be realistic driving, because that's not how I do things. It's to help the card be able to play the game at 60 FPS and keep frame rates up. So that's why I tend to use that command, but users can use it however they want. There's also a save command, which you can see here, directly saves the game from any position you want to save it from, as I will demonstrate here. And there you go, it saved it. So that's another one. There's also the go-to command. Now this is used as a teleportation thing to go from one city to another very quickly. I will not show how this is because it's finicky to get the truck to land down, but I have used it before, and all it does is give you a camera that you have to zoom in to the part of the road where you want the truck to spawn and press Ctrl plus F9 to actually spawn it in. But it is a quick way of getting around the map very quickly if there's a specific city you want to go to. Now the way it works is you just put go to, as you can see here, and you put either the first few letters of a city if there's only one version, or the actual specific city you want to go to. So you can see here that if I was to press enter now, it would take me to Boise, Idaho, by default, from here in Georgia on the coast to coast map. So that's how that works. I very rarely use it now. I used to use it a lot when the key was just F9 to drop it in. The only times I use it now are probably if I get stuck somewhere and I need to teleport the truck in. But there's an actual key. What this does unlock as well is a free camera, which I will show you in a moment after I've shown all the console commands, which I think I've done actually. So I think I've shown the 4 console commands I regularly use, and that is it. There are more console commands, but those will be covered by other videos, since I only use about 4 or 5 and don't use any more. So, and the ones I use are the regular ones that most users would want to use, but not necessarily all of them. So that brings to an end the console review, ladies and gentlemen. What I am going to do is quickly show you this free camera I've been on about, that it does give you, having opened the console. Now this is only available once you open the developer console, but if you press the 0 key, you get a free camera. And what you can do here is pull it round any part of the map. So let's just go, let's just go to the right. Now controlling the camera is done by using the number keys. So it's 6 to go to the left, 8 to go forward. And the way it works is if I press Control plus F9 now, it will drop the truck in and therefore move it to, you can see it's now on the road. So that's basically what that does, and I use that from time to time if I get stuck and I need to move it away from an obstruction and place it somewhere else. I tend now not to use the service command, which is usually operated by the F7 command. If I get stuck, I tend to do that. If I only use the F7 command if it's not obvious where I can teleport the truck to. So, but that's the only time I'll use that command. But the command does exist, as you can see there, and that's how it works. So, with that being said, that brings to an end this console review, ladies and gentlemen, and the command review. I'm hoping this video has helped the users that want to learn how to use this command at this console, and will get them more enjoyment out of their American Truck Simulator games, and also out of Euro Truck Simulator 2, which uses the same method described here to use its own console. So you just have to change the game config file to Euro Truck 2 as opposed to American Truck Sim. But that brings this video to an end, ladies and gentlemen. And as always, thank you for your support, and thanks for watching.